Your 20s are for spending hours and hours pretending. We have plans and we have places we should visit, but everybody knows your 20s are for wasting time. 'Cause you could be with anyone you wanted. You could take that job they offered and move down by the ocean. But I love the way your hand feels when it's under mine. I don't wanna take the world for granted while I'm still trying to understand it. The more I live, I am convinced everyone just wants to be in love. This world makes me dizzy. How we get so busy. No one tries to take the time it takes to turn your love into a love, your friends into a family. Well, I don't want any false religion. I will practice loving you with no conditions. And I'll give up what I have to just so I can have you. Everybody's chasing something, but they don't know they're chasing someone. The more I live, I am convinced everyone just wants to be in love.
Family and friends and loved ones, and my wife Betsy and I are thrilled to have you to host this beautiful wedding of Matt and Rebecca. They're both thankful for you for coming and the contribution that you have made to their lives, both as individuals and as a couple. How's the volume? Am I too loud? Good. Okay. Excellent. I'm Rebecca's older brother by 16 years. I'm not going to be helpful. So I'll try to hold it together. So what that means is I left the home when Rebecca was only 2 years old. And so we didn't get a great deal of time to spend together and to get to know each other and travel together and do all those things. And for me to give older brotherly advice. Also, our father passed away when Rebecca was only 19 years old. So she didn't get a lot of time with Dad either to share his fatherly advice. And so one thing I want to point out is that Dad would have been so proud of you, and he would have been so thrilled to have you as his son-in-law. And so having been a father now for 25 years, I'm finally starting to feel like I can offer fatherly wisdom. And so in his stead, I will offer some today. And my mother and my siblings and our uncle is here. They can let me know whether I've done a decent job or not. But standing in his stead today, and for the last, sorry, I can't count, 30 plus years has been James, who has been able to offer his good cheer and fatherly advice and encouragement as well. And so we thank you for that. So when Rebecca and Matt announced their engagement, They were trying to figure out whether or not they wanted to do a big formal wedding celebration, or whether to do a private, quiet, small thing to avoid all the hoopla and all the stress and all the expense and everything else that goes with today. And so, as one of my early acts of marital advice for the couple, Betsy and I suggested that a wedding is not just about the couple. It's about friends and family and everybody being able to get together and celebrating something positive and uplifting. And so they took that to heart, and as retribution and to discourage me from being too generous with my advice, they asked us to host today. And so we're all here, and we're thrilled to have all of you with us. Rebecca and Matt have asked me to keep the ceremony relatively short and to avoid all the unflattering stories that I might be able to tell. It would have been really fun, but it is their day. However, later at lunch, there will be an open mic, and we can all get to know them better. So let's get things started with a blessing. In Judaism, wine is certainly a symbol of joy, and we celebrate with wine at every life cycle celebration. And so we're going to, all right. And those who want to join in can. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And I'll let you two sip that. Yeah, take a little more.
Vodka. Should have been vodka.
Yeah.
I knew my bar mitzvah Kiddush cup would come in handy. So there's a cycle in life. Bad times are followed by good, loss followed by joy. Tragedy is followed by hope. These past few months have been a dark time for the Jewish people, not only in Israel, but around the world and here in America. I don't bring this up to cast a shadow on this joyous occasion, but to point out a few things about the Jewish experience, about hope, and the Jewish people from which you come. We're people that anticipates dark times, so much so, we make a point to remember it every year at the Passover Seder. The Haggadah says, but in every generation they rise up to destroy us. Let me get out of the wind. Every generation. But in spite of this, we know that there are better times ahead. Because the next line is, but the Holy One, blessed be He, delivers us from His hand. You'll notice that He delivers, not He delivered in the past tense. It's present tense, it's future tense. And these are not simply nice words we say at the holiday meal. We're not supposed to just speed past them on our way to mom's matzo ball soup. They have real world implications. They're borne out in the real world, and they give us hope. Did you know that in spite of the recent past and the past 75 years of never knowing true peace, Israel ranks number 5 out of 143 countries in the 2024 World Happiness Report, only behind Finland, Denmark, Iceland, and Sweden. Not exactly places you hear a lot about in the news and about conflict. So why is that? Why are the Jewish people a happy people? Well, on top of God's promise in the Seder, there are many reasons for this, but I want to focus on 2 for today. We are people who know that even the worst that can be thrown at us will be overcome, and that there's happiness and joy and good times on the other side. The second reason is our faith teaches us that we have agency, that we have a hand and a responsibility in our destiny. We are not victims. These are critical elements in making a successful marriage. Every marriage eventually has its trials. Every adult over 50 here knows what I'm talking about because they've lived long enough to have experienced it. But I really want to point this out to you two and to the young people here who might be pessimistic about what's going on in the world and about the future. There are great challenges in the world, but there always have been, ever since God created man. Some of you are old enough to remember Billy Joel wrote a song about it because he was upset that kids thought the world began with them. So you young people can look it up.
Google it. JFGI.
JFGI.
However, knowing that you can overcome extreme trials and reach a greater place is in your Jewish DNA. And it gives you strength to hang on no matter what life throws at you or how stubborn Matt is being. And knowing that you have agency and responsibility should give you motivation to examine yourself and find ways to adapt and change and overcome, no matter how impossible the situation or how unreasonable Rebecca is being. Commentary is a Jewish magazine that's been around since 1945. Since October 7th, I've been listening to their daily podcast, and they have some opening music that opens the show, and it's from a 1970 Mel Brooks movie called The 12 Chairs, which I'd never heard of, and maybe none of you have ever heard of it. But Mel Brooks is one of the great Jewish comedians. He's still going at 97 years old. He's an actor, writer, director, and he wrote this song, which I think encapsulates an important part of being Jewish. Now, I'm not going to sing the song, but you can actually look it up on YouTube. He sang it just a few years ago at like 89 years old. So it goes like this. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Some drink champagne, some die of thirst. No way of knowing which way it's going. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Comedy obviously is part of Jewish tradition as well, and it gets us through these difficult times. So there's a cycle of life. Bad times are followed by good, loss followed by joy, tragedy is followed by hope. As we say in the Seder, it's inevitable. But knowing this prepares you for the difficulties and encourages you to fully appreciate the good times like today. Most important thing I want to say is that entering into marriage is an act of hope. It says to each other and to your family, to the world, that life is good and that we can build better times together and that we have meaning. I hope it is hope for you, hope for your spouse, and hope for the future. And the national anthem of Israel, the nation of the Jews, is Hatikah. What does that all mean? The hope. So, as Matt and Rebecca prepare to exchange vows, let us give thanks for our friends, our family, our ancestors, and God Almighty, who grants us life, sustains us, and brings us to this season. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Oh, no, I'll drink the wine. Okay. So marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure of human relationships. No ceremony can create your marriage. Only you can do that. Through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, helping and supporting and believing in each other, through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and learning to make the important things matter and let go of the rest. What this ceremony can do is witness and affirm the choice you make to stand as life mates and partners. And sometimes it will be really hard. Marriage is a commitment to do everything possible to work through problems together, to always act in the best interest of the whole, to be kind even in the face of anger and hurt, and to know that your heart's in each other's corners. That you are each in each other's corners no matter what. So, without further ado, Matt, why don't you take at least one of Rebecca's hands, or someone, okay, there we go, perfect, okay. Matt, do you freely promise to share in Rebecca's triumphs and tragedies, celebrate and mourn with her, and seek to understand and support her through all of life's challenges?
I do.
Louder.
I do.
Matt, do you freely promise to be open and honest with your own feelings and entrust them in Rebecca, knowing that you can work through all of life's highs and lows together and with her well-being at heart?
I do.
Matt, you freely promise to dedicate your life from this day forward to filling Rebecca's days with beauty and laughter, celebrating her spirit and all of her accomplishments, to work to inspire her and be there to remind her of her beauty and strength?
I do.
Rebecca, do you freely promise to share in Matt's triumphs and tragedies, celebrate and mourn with him, and seek to understand and support him through all of life's challenges?
I do. Is his even on?
No. It's for Zach's video.
That's for the video. You can lean in here. Nick, yes. Okay. Rebecca, do you freely promise to be open and honest with your own feelings and entrust them in Matt, knowing that you can work through all of life's highs and lows together and with his well-being at heart?
I do.
Rebecca, do you freely promise to dedicate your life from this day forward to filling Matt's days with beauty and laughter, celebrating his spirit and his accomplishments, to work to inspire him and be here to remind him of his beauty and strength?
I do.
Okay. You've known each other for years, through the first glance of acquaintance to this moment of commitment. At some moment, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making promises and agreements in an informal way. All those commitments that were held, all those conversations that were held riding in a car or over a meal or during long walks, all those sentences that began with, "When we're married," and continued with, "I will," "You will," and "We will." Those late night talks that included someday, somehow, maybe, and all those promises that were unspoken matters of the heart. Just two people working out what they want, what they believe, what they hope for each other. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, "You know all those things we promised and hoped and dreamt? Well, I meant it all, every word." Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you've been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dance partner. Do you just dance?
God, no.
It was generic, sorry. And even teacher, where you have learned much more about one another in these last few years. You've learned that good company and friendship count for more than wealth and good looks and position. You've learned that marriage is a maze into which we wander, a maze that is best gotten through with a great companion. And you learn, now you shall say a few words that take you across the threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, "Matt is my husband, Rebecca is my wife." Now, Rebecca and Matt have already shared their private, intimate vows with one another earlier this morning. However, inspired by Saturday Night Live weekend update hosts Michael Shea and Colin Yost, they have written vows for each other to share as well. Neither Rebecca nor Matt have seen these vows until now. For those of you who aren't familiar, I had to look it up. they wrote something that the other person has to read. And in the context of Saturday Night Live, that can be quite entertaining. All right. Which is...
Who's first? We have to
I will.
do a
We'll let
vodka,
Rebecca
a
go
tequila shot.
We should.
We could get a
Oh
bottle.
yeah, you go. Wait, you go first.
Do I need a mic, or do I just talk loud?
I can do this.
Oh.
Okay.
Right here.
Yep.
All right. Never seen this before. Rebecca, it appears we have defied the intention of fate and common sense by being here today. First, we almost didn't meet at all since you nearly swiped left on those awful Ed Hardy jeans I was wearing in my profile pic. I'm not saying you're shallow, but had you known then that I would become the Hoka devotee that I am today, I doubt we would be standing here now. Luckily, we did meet, and on our first date found we had much in common. Wait, you're Jewish? However, as I was busy using photos of my adorable kids to win you over, your car was being broken into, always an excellent omen. Then, on our third date, we ran into not just my kids, but also my ex-wife. Awkward. Soon after, we were thrust into the depths of COVID and got deathly ill together. If we can love each other after that, then I think we're good. So here we are, 4 years later, tying the knot again. So from this point forward, I promise these important things. I promise never to become a dinner table person, except when we're pretending for our friends and family. I promise to take you on walks when you are feeling verklempt.
Harriet?
So nightly. I promise not to use you just to get closer to Mo. I promise not to judge you for the alarming content of the TV shows you watch. I promise to live longer than you. After all, I tie your room together. As you wish, the end. Wow. This is...
Where do they start? Oh.
I think that's it.
I really have no idea if I swiped right by mistake. More importantly, did you give me an incorrect phone number by mistake? I had to be honest, I was skeptical at first. There were some glaring red flags in your profile. You said when I'm not at work, you can find me hiking or at the gym. And those pictures of you with a hat wiping your face on a boat, holding the giant fish, geez. Fortunately, I agreed to go out on a date with you, and the rest is history. One of my favorite bands ever is Kanjagoogoo, but that's besides the point. There's a beautiful Dire Straits lyric, which sums up how I feel. I don't know the tune to this. Ross, do you know the... I can't do everything, but I'll do anything for you. I can't do everything, but I'll do anything for you. I can't do anything except be in love with you. I promise that when you say you mean more to me than my plants, I'm being sincere. Don't make me answer this question about Mo, though. Speaking of Mo, you should know that if it ever comes to choosing between me and you and Mo, I'll let you down gently. I vow as your wife to always support your dreams, especially the one about starting our own iris farm. And you should know, after 4.5 years, it's crazy that you haven't figured out I don't know Latin. You insist there's nothing you can do about the plumber's crack. You say it's just how it is for men with my body type. I don't believe you, nor does Maya. And it's just how it is for men. I don't believe you, and I promise to keep pointing it out. I really do promise that. But with 2 T's, you should know, deep down, I'm extremely attracted to your plumber's crack. It's hot. I promise you that I sincerely mean it when I say I will try to keep our IKEA trips down under 2 hours. But do you realize what you're asking? I promise that I will never understand what Tetris and a dishwasher have in common. And also, I don't know why you won't give me a Mac and an iPhone like a normal person, but I still love you. Wait, give me? You mean why you won't use one?
Yeah.
Okay. I promise that if we ever leave the Bay Area to move to a place where no one knows us, I will let you put those giant dangling car testicles on the back of your car. And I promise, even when I'm watching one of my favorite shows like Saved by the Bell, I'll pause it for you. When you want to talk about something important like what Mario Lopez has been up to lately or what Wingstop's new for a limited time only flavor is. I vow to enforce our household's ban on Gilmore Girls. Oh, really? One Tree Hill, Glee, Gossip Girl, and Friends. However, I love this Chandler Bing gem, and it's quite funny. You make me happier than I ever thought I could be, and if you let me, I will spend the rest of my life trying to make you feel the same way. In other words, you are the Luke to my Lorelai. And lastly, I know that when you say, as you wish, you mean I love you, but it's really quite amusing to keep you guessing. Is that it?
That's it.
Thank you.
Rebecca and Matt will now exchange rings as a symbol of love and commitment to each other. These rings represent the unbreakable cycle of life and love. They mark the beginning of your long journey together. Your wedding ring is a circle, a symbol of love never ending. It is the seal of the vows you have just taken to love each other without end.
It's upside down.
You drop them all.
It's heavy.
Can I take this part off?
You don't want to touch that.
Matt, as you place the ring on Rebecca's finger, please repeat after me. Put your hand down. Rebecca,
Rebecca,
you are the love of my life,
you are the love of my life,
and you are my very best friend.
and you are my very best friend.
It's warm out. Rebecca, as you place the ring,
Oh, that's okay.
ring on Matt's finger, please repeat after me. Matt,
Matt,
you are the love of my life,
you are the love of my
and you are
life,
my very best friend.
and you're my very best friend.
The breaking of the glass is the quintessential moment of a Jewish wedding. It dates back to a story told in the Talmud. What it represents has evolved over the years, but in my telling of the cycles of life, of hope, it is a reminder that you will be tested by difficult times, so you better appreciate and revel in the good ones, like today. Okay. Go for it. Yay, Mazel Tov.
Wait, what about kissing the bride?
They wrote it, so. By the power of your love and commitment, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss each other.
Well done.
I'm pleased to present to you the newlyweds, Rebecca and Matt.
And do we just walk back down?
You guys. So the couple and the family members are going to head
Take
out.
for granted when we
And
finish our decisions. Empty-handed, but never empty-handed.